A new weight loss drug has infiltrated the market in recent years and has redefined what it means to be healthy. There's been a bunch of people, celebrities and regular people alike, dropping weight like a bad habit, having massive transformations in what seems like record time. It's the drug that everybody's been talking about, but not for its intended purposes. TikTokers can't stop mentioning it, celebrities are facing constant accusations of using it, and actual doctors are prescribing it in record numbers. It's even being called the miracle weight loss drug, and for a lot of people, it really does look like one. But there are some underlying questions. How did a medication designed to manage diabetes suddenly become the hottest weight loss trend in the world? How could the demand for it be so high that people who actually needed it to control their diabetes couldn't even get their prescriptions filled? And what does this obsession say about the way we think about health, body image, and shortcuts? As always, it's Kaylebb, and today we're breaking down the rise of Ozempic, the hype, the celebrity influence, the controversies, and the consequences. The story here isn't just about the drug itself, it's about how a treatment for diabetes turned into $1 billion phenomenon. It's about how influencers, celebrities, and even doctors helped spark one of the biggest cultural shifts in weight loss history. By the end, you'll understand that Ozempic isn't just changing waistlines, it's changing the very definition of health itself. And once you see the full picture, you'll question the mindset behind this Ozempic epidemic. Ozempic is the brand name for semaglutide, a drug originally developed to treat diabetes. It's made by a Danish company called Novo Nordisk, and in 2017, it got approved by the FDA as a once-a-week injectable medication to improve blood sugar control. How it works is that semaglutide belongs to a class of medicines called GLP-1 receptor agonists. This mimics the effects of natural GLP-1 hormones in the body. By activating the GLP-1 receptors, Ozempic stimulates your pancreas to release insulin. It lowers the amount of glucose the liver produces, and it also slows down digestion. The result is better blood sugar regulation for diabetic patients, but the doctors noticed one peculiar side effect. The drug was reducing people's appetites and slowing down gastric emptying, making people feel fuller sooner. In the clinical trials, doctors saw that many diabetic people on Ozempic were losing a significant amount of weight, a very intriguing side effect that was not the drug's main intent. This unexpected weight loss effect set the stage for Ozempic's second life as something more than just a diabetes treatment. For reference, clinical studies show that most diet and exercise interventions caused an average weight loss of barely 5 to 7% of body weight, whereas people who took Ozempic saw a staggering weight loss of 15% of their body weight. The company started rubbing their hands together, as they could already envision their new cash cow. As evidence mounted that semaglutide caused significant weight loss, Novo Nordisk created a higher dose version of Ozempic specifically for obesity. And in 2021, the FDA approved semaglutide as a weight loss intervention under the brand name Wegovy. This marked a turning point. A GLP-1 agonist was now officially a weight loss medication. And in what seems like overnight, what started as a diabetes medication became a weight loss powerhouse. But despite the excitement, launching Wegovy wasn't smooth. There were supply shortages and insurance companies were reluctant to cover the expensive new obesity drug. This meant that many people couldn't get it as it was costly. But to face these challenges, there was one obvious workaround. So obvious that doctors and Novo Nordisk were probably laughing their heads off. They simply began to prescribe Ozempic off-label for weight loss. It was more readily available, it contained the same active ingredient as Wegovy, and already displayed its miraculous effect on weight. By early 2022, the public was already bubbling about using Ozempic as a weight loss treatment. The craze for Ozempic was unprecedented, unlike anything we had ever seen, as it immediately grew in popularity. This was probably because, unlike fad diets or sketchy supplements, Ozempic is doctor prescribed, FDA approved, and most importantly, it actually works. These things gave it its credibility, and it turned into a cultural lightning rod. The popularity was so staggering that the company Novo Nordisk didn't even put in much effort to market this off-label use. Social media and word of mouth made Ozempic viral. So much so that a writer called it the greatest pharmaceutical marketing campaign ever conducted. It spread through social media like a wildfire, with countless weight loss journeys posts on TikTok and Instagram. The hashtag Ozempic skyrocketed from just a few million views in 2021 to over 1 billion views in 2023 as the trend exploded. People started making memes, jokes, and confessions, which worked well to normalize the use of Ozempic, not to mention the celebrity drama. Ozempic's pop culture moment has been fueled by celebrity intrigue. In Hollywood, it sometimes feels like everyone is either on Ozempic or being accused of it. By late 2022, people were openly speculating whether certain stars' new slim figures were the product of diet and discipline or the skinny pen. One of the most famous rumors concerned Kim Kardashian, as she squeezed into Marilyn Monroe's iconic dress for the Met Gala in 2022. It's reported that she lost 16 pounds in only 3 weeks.
Tried it on and it didn't fit me, and so I looked at them and I said, give me like 3 weeks, and I had to lose 16 pounds.
Kim claimed that this was the result of a strict diet, no carbs or sugar, but the fans whispered that Ozempic might be the secret ingredient. Of course, this went viral and shed light on Ozempic even more. Around the same time, Khloe Kardashian also showed off a leaner physique, being subjugated to similar Ozempic accusations. Whereas Kim didn't really respond to the accusations, Khloe responded, denying them outright, saying she would never take the easy way out. A statement that would represent how some people in the community view the use of drugs for weight loss. Kyle Richards from The Real Housewives was another star who faced a flood of comments suggesting her toned down figure must be from Ozempic. She also denied it repeatedly, voicing frustration. I put a lot of effort into my diet and exercise, so when people like to think I took the easy way out, it's really frustrating. The stars at the Golden Globe in 2025 all came out sporting suspiciously thinner looks, which even led articles to quote dietitians saying that they wouldn't be surprised if everyone was using a GLP-1 to lose weight. Not to mention popular stars like Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, who debuted shockingly slender physiques last year for their movie Wicked. They had everyone surprised, thinking it's either Ozempic or an eating disorder. Again, the stars claimed that no drugs were involved, only stress and a tough working schedule. While some stars distanced themselves from Ozempic, a few have been openly candid about using it. Comedian Chelsea Handler stated that her doctor just hands it out to anybody, revealing that she unknowingly tried Ozempic.
My doctor, my anti-aging doctor, just hands it out to anybody, right? I didn't even know I was on it.
But her statement showed how common the medication had become in certain Hollywood circles. Even space daddy Elon Musk,
you better slow down. No, you better slow down.
Openly credited the GLP-1 medication for his weight loss. In late 2022, when he was asked how he got fit, Elon tweeted fasting and Wegovy. He even joked on social media about being an Ozempic Santa after showing off a slimmer look in 2024. His public praise of the drug helped validate the trend in some people's eyes. Many other celebrities came forward and shared their Ozempic experience. Sharon Osbourne, for example, admitted she used it and lost a surprising 42 pounds, though she found herself thinner than she intended.
I can't put on weight now. And I don't know what it's done to my metabolism, but I just can't seem to put any on because I think I went too far and then I can't put it back on.
People like Serena Williams also spoke out on her use of a GLP-1 drug.
I felt like, okay, I don't want to do this because it is a shortcut or it is like, you know, a quick way out, but it actually isn't. And there's something that I feel personally, like I said, that my body was missing. In particular, after having 2 kids, I wasn't able to be at a weight that was healthy for me.
And even Oprah admitted to use of a weight loss drug that freed her from her long battle with her figure.
Even when I first started hearing about the weight loss drugs, at the same time I was going through knee surgery, and I felt, I've got to do this on my own. I've got to do this on my own, because if I take the drug, that's the easy way out.
This buzz made Ozempic a household name in celebrity culture, almost a hush-hush status symbol of the slim and rich, but also something many were embarrassed to admit to. A media column in early 2023 even pointed out that very few stars were willing to confess to taking Ozempic or similar GLP-1, suggesting there was still a stigma or shame around medically assisted weight loss. or as some called it, taking the easy way out. Of course, the constant chatter, who's on it, who's denying it, only increased public intrigue. And it doesn't help that the body image of Hollywood has seemingly transitioned from a curvier look back to a much slender figure with lots of stars thinning down, or at least feeling like they have to. Hollywood's Ozempic era also raises broader questions, like is it fair to speculate about someone's medication and their health choices? And do celebrities have a responsibility to be honest about using drugs for assistance, especially if they have an influence over body image standards? These things are up for debate, but what's clear is that the celebrity buzz around Ozempic helped propel its popularity. But as with most things, there's no light without darkness.
Doctors are being bombarded by people wanting to take a diabetes management drug, but not because they're diabetic, because they think it will help them lose weight. Nicole Comstock reports that it's causing people who actually need the drug to go without.
The surge in popularity translated directly to demand. People couldn't wait to get their hands on the magic shot that just made the weight fall off. Doctors were bombarded with requests, and telehealth websites were made to prescribe Ozempic to almost anyone who could afford it. In the US, Ozempic prescriptions skyrocketed, increasing over 5,000% between 2018 and 2023. Even weight loss institutions responded to the trend. The long-established Weight Watchers program began integrating GLP-1 weight loss medications into its offerings. It reached an estimated 20 million prescriptions in 2023, and Ozempic had become the third best-selling drug in the world. A huge rise for a drug that wasn't even top 20 2 years before. But its newfound fame came with some complications. It led to shortages for actual diabetic patients who relied on the medication to help them manage their condition. In the public eye, Ozempic was no longer thought of as just a diabetic drug. It had become almost synonymous with rapid weight loss. This caused an ethical dilemma. Should a life-saving diabetic drug really be diverted for weight loss? And of course, nothing truly is a miracle. The side effects of Ozempic are just not talked about as loud as the benefits. But there are side effects. Because whether you're using it for diabetes or weight loss, the effects on the body are the same. Most people on semaglutide experience some side effects, and the most common are mainly stomach issues like nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and constipation. These happen because GLP-1 drugs slow down digestion and affect how the gut and brain communicate about hunger. These side effects do improve over time as the body adjusts, but some people also report feelings of dizziness, fatigue, and stomach reflux. The most outspoken about these side effects were Sharon Osbourne, who said Ozempic really made her sick, and Amy Schumer, who said that she was so sick she couldn't even play with her son.
I tried it and I was vomiting and I'm in bed and my son's like, can you play tag? And I'm like, I can.
No.
And I was shriveling away. I lost 30 pounds so quick. I looked great and I couldn't lift my head off the pillow. So what's the point?
There are also more sinister side effects, which are rare but worth mentioning. Ozempic and other GLP-1 agonists carry a warning about pancreatitis, a potentially severe inflammation of the pancreas. In a large study published in 2023, for every few thousand patients on these drugs, there were cases of pancreatitis and even instances of severe gastroparesis reported. Gastroparesis can cause persistent vomiting and an inability to digest food normally. But besides these medical side effects, there are other issues that some people might find even more detrimental. Dramatic weight loss from Ozempic can bring unintended consequences, such as the dreaded Ozempic face. Doctors coined this term to describe the gaunt look that happens after the rapid weight loss semaglutide causes. When a person sheds a lot of weight quickly, they don't just lose fat from their waistlines, but also from their face. This can lead to sunken cheeks, sagging skin, and more pronounced wrinkles, making someone appear older or tired, even if they should be healthier and slimmer. Another issue is muscle loss. The doctors observe that along with fat, people can lose muscle mass if they aren't doing resistance training or getting enough protein. This is quite common because most people think that all they have to do is take the shot once a week and not do anything else. And it's this mindset that also ties into the post-Ozempic rebound. You see, Ozempic isn't a cure for being overweight, it's a treatment. and it only works as long as you continue to take it. If someone stops taking Ozempic, their appetite will return to normal levels or maybe even higher due to the body's counter-regulatory hormones. So unless that person has made actual lifestyle changes or addressed their behaviors surrounding food, they are likely to regain the weight they lost. And with the perception that all you need to do is inject once a week to see benefits, the reality is that most people are either going to regain their lost weight or stay on Ozempic indefinitely. Ozempic isn't very cheap. Diabetic people could have their Ozempic prescriptions covered by their insurance, but the off-label use of Ozempic for weight loss in most cases isn't covered by insurance. So it's going to cost around $900 USD per month in the US, or $1,300 if you want Wegovy. This amount of money per month is quite the financial burden for most people. It almost creates a class divide. Those who can afford Ozempic get slim fast, and those who can't just don't. We've entered the era where weight loss is no longer primarily about lifestyle, it's about pharmaceutical access, where fit no longer means hours in the gym, but whether you can afford the shot. The surge in demand shows how dependent our society has become on quick fixes and shortcuts. But maybe it's less about laziness and more about how our definition of hard work has shifted. For decades, fitness culture glorified discipline, sweat, and sacrifice. Now with a single prescription, you can bypass years of grind and arrive at the same destination, or at least appear to. It doesn't mean people don't still train or diet, but the narrative has changed. Ozempic has rewritten the rules. Results first, process second. And whether you see that as progress or a problem, it definitely marks one of the biggest cultural shifts in modern health. But what do you think? Would you ever take Ozempic yourself? Or is this just another fad that the fitness and health industry has dressed up as innovation?